Namaste. Today I'm going to read Book 11, Chapter 6 on the greatness of Rudrakshams in the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Om Vakratuna Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Sarvakaya Sushubha Ekadantaya Vinapakratuna. Hari Om Tat Sat. Isvara said, O Kartikeya, Kusagranti, Jivapatri, and other rosaries cannot compare to 1/16th part of the Rudraksha rosary. As Vishnu is the best of all the Puranas, the Ganga is the best of all the rivers, Keshapa amongst the Munis, Ochesrava amongst the horses, Mahadeva amongst the Devas, Bhagavati amongst the Devis. So the Rudraksham rosary is the best of all the rosaries. All the fruits that occur by reading the stotras and holding all the vratas are obtained by wearing the Rudraksham bead. At the time of making the Aksaya gift, the Rudraksham bead is capable of giving high merits. The merit that accrues by giving Rudraksham to a peaceful devotee of Shiva cannot be expressed in words. If anybody gives food to a man holding the Rudraksham rosary, his 21 generations are uplifted and he ultimately becomes able to live in the Rudraloka. He who does not apply ashes on his forehead and who does not hold Rudraksham and is adverse to the worship of Shiva is inferior to a Chandala. If Rudraksham be placed on the head, then the flesh eaters, drunkards, and the associates with the vicious become freed of their sins. Whatever fruits are obtained by performing various sacrifices, asceticism, and the study of the Vedas are easily attained by simply holding the Rudraksham rosary. Whatever merits are obtained by reading the 4 Vedas and all the Puranas are bathing in all the Tirthas, and the results that are obtained by immense practice in learning all are obtained by wearing Rudraksham. If at the time of death one wears Rudraksham and dies, one attains Rudrahood. One has not to take again one's birth. If anybody dies by holding Rudraksham on his neck or his 2 arms, he uplifts his 21 generations and lives in the Rudra Loka. Be he a Brahman or a Chandala, be he with qualities or without qualities, if he applies ashes to his body and holds Rudraksham, he surely attains Shivahood. Be he pure or impure, whether he eats uneatables or be he a Mlacha or a Chandala, or a great sinner, anybody, if he holds Rudraksham, is surely equal to Rudra. There is no doubt in this. If anybody holds Rudraksham on his head, he gets 40 times the fruit on his ears, 10 koti times the fruit on his neck, 100 koti times the fruit on his holy thread, ayuta times the fruit on his arm, 1,00,000 koti times the fruit, and if one wears Rudraksham on one's wrist, one attains moksha. Whatever acts mentioned in the Vedas be performed with Rudraksham, on the fruits obtained are unbounded. Even if a man be without any bhakti, and if he wears on his neck the Rudraksha rosary, though he does always vicious acts, he becomes freed of the bondage of this world. Even if a man does not hold Rudraksha, but if he be always full of devotion towards the Rudraksham, he attains the fruit that is got by wearing the Rudraksham. And if he attains the Shiva Loka and is honored like Shiva, as in the country of Kikata, an ass which used to carry Rudraksham seed got Shivahood after his death. So any man, whether he be a jnani, wise, or a jnani, unwise, gets shivahood if he holds Rudraksham. There's no doubt in this. Skanda said, O God, how is it that in the country of Kikata, Bihar, an ass had to carry Rudraksha, who gave him the Rudrakshams, and what for did he hold that? Bhagavan Isvara said, O son, now hear the history of the case. In the Vindhya mountain, one ass used to carry the load of Rudraksham of a traveler. Once the ass felt tired and became unable to carry the load and fell down on the road and died. After his death, the ass came to me and my grace, becoming Maheshvara, with trident in his hand and with 3 eyes. O Kartikeya, as many faces are there in the Rudraksham, for so many thousand yogas, the holder resides with honor in the Shiva Loka. One should declare the greatness of Rudraksham to one's own disciple, never to disclose its glories to one who is not a disciple, nor a devotee, or Rudraksham, nor to him who is an illiterate brute. Be he a bhakta or not a bhakta, be he low or very low, if he holds Rudraksham, then he is freed from all sins. No equal can be to the merit of him who holds the Rudrakshams. The Munis, the sayers of truth, describe the holding of a Rudraksham as a very great vow. He who makes a vow to hold 1,000 Rudrakshams becomes like Rudra. The Devas bow down before him. If 1,000 Rudrakshams be not obtained, one should hold at least 16 Rudrakshams on each arm, 1 Rudraksham on the crown hair, on the 2 hands, 12 on each, 32 on the neck, 40 on the head, 6 on each ear, 108 Rudrakshams on the breast, and then he becomes entitled to worship like Rudra. If anybody holds Rudraksham together with pearls, prabhala, crystal, silver, gold and gem, lapis lazuli, he becomes a manifestation of Shiva. If a body through laziness even holds Rudraksham, the sin cannot touch him as darkness cannot come near light. If anybody makes japam of a mantram with a Rudraksha rosary, he gets unbounded results. Such a merit giving Rudraksham, if one such Rudraksham be not found in any one's body, his life becomes useless. Like a man who is void of Tripundrak, 3 curved horizontal marks made on the forehead by the worshippers of Shiva. If anybody simply washes his head all over with Rudraksham on, he gets the fruit of bathing in the Ganges. There's no doubt in this. One-faced Rudraksham, the 5-faced, 11-faced, and 14-faced Rudrakshams are highly virtuous and entitled to worship by all. The Rudraksham is Sankara made manifest, so it is always worshipped with devotion. The greatness of Rudraksham is such as it can make a king out of a poor man. On this point, I will tell you an excellent Puranic anecdote. There was a Brahmin named Girinatha in the country of Kosala. He was proficient in the Vedas and Vedamgas, religious and very rich. He used to perform sacrifices. He had a beautiful son named Gunanidhi. The son gradually entered into his youth and looked beautiful like Kandarpa, the god of love. While he was studying at his guru Sudisana's house, he, by his beauty and youth, captivated the mind of his guru's wife named Muktavali. The Guru's wife became so much enchanted by his extraordinary beauty that she, being unable to control herself, mixed with him for some time, remained with him in secret enjoyment. Then, feeling inconveniences due to the fear of his Guru, to enjoy her freely, used poison to the Guru, killed him, and then he began to live freely with her. Next, when his mother came to know about this, he put to death instantly his father and mother, administering poison to them. He became addicted to various pleasures, and his wealth was exhausted gradually. He began to steal in Brahmanas' houses and became addicted very much to drinking. His relatives outcasted him from the society for his bad behavior and banished him outside the town. He then went into a dense forest with Muktavali, and he began to kill the Brahmins for their wealth. Thus a long time passed away, when at last he fell into the jaws of death. Then, to take him to the region of death, thousands of the Yama's messengers came. At the same time, the Shiva's messengers came from Shivaloka. O Kartikeya, a quarrel then ensued between both the parties of Yama and Shiva. The Yama's messengers then said, O servers of Shambhu, what are the merits of this man that you have come to take him? First speak to us of his merits. Shiva's messengers spoke. 15 feet below the ground, where this man died, there exists the Rudraksham. O Yama's messengers, by the influence of that Rudraksham, all his sins are destroyed, and we have come to take him to Shiva. Then the Brahmin Gunanidhi assumed a divine form and, getting on an aerial car, went with Shiva's messengers before Shiva. O one of good vows, thus I have described briefly to you the greatness of Rudraksham. This is capable to remove all sorts of sins and yield great merits. Here ends the 6th chapter of the 11th book on the greatness of Rudrakshams in the Maha Puranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Ved Vyasa. Om Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakari Parindrakashma Shridham Devi Cham Maha Shiva Sapata Sadashanya Dharmike Gauri Naya. Unto Mata Chavitatu, unto Abundance.